Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the C-Man, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the C-Man Cinema Sit-Down. As you can see, I am outside the AMC Theaters in Port Chester, New York, and apparently there's some crazy children down by the street just hooting and hollering. I don't know what it is. Like, the last 3 times I've been in the movies, they're just kids who come out acting all a fool. I don't really get it. But nevertheless, we're going to push on because we got a movie to talk about that dropped tonight that, oh my goodness, hit all the notes I wanted it to hit. What am I talking about? Why don't you pull up a chair, take a seat. We are getting ready to dive in, spoiler free, fresh out the theater, into The Northman. And I got to tell you, man, The Northman's what up. It's what's up, man. I've said this. I posted trailer reactions today because I was like, I might as well watch them before we watch the movie. And I said in those, man, Robert Eggers is one of my favorite filmmakers in Hollywood right now. He is 3 for 3 for me, man. I mean, The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman, all of them are those. He just brings it, and he gets better, I think, every single time out. And the thing that I'm really digging about Eggers, yes, you heard, if you watch my trailer reactions, you heard me talk about atmospherics. The guy does atmosphere and setting better than most at this point in the game. And he does that here just expertly. I mean, shooting on location sometimes really, really pays off. And this is one of those movies where shooting on location really paid off for Eggers. A lot of the visual wows are just nature, man. But there are also some visual wows that are camera-oriented, light-oriented, visual effects-oriented. I mean, this movie, one of the cool things for me while I was watching it, it was like you could tell everything that Eggers is pulling from and bringing from his own career, man. Like, there are these elements that give you vibes of The Witch. There are these elements where, like, visually, he creates these, like, black and white moments in the movie, kind of like The Lighthouse, but more in the vein of, like, The Witch, where you just kind of lose a lot of your saturation. But it's not, like, light flashes and the color is there. But, like, the way that you see him just kind of, like, his filmmaking evolves with every single movie. And here you just see him doing the things that made those 2 movies great, while also doing something that we haven't seen him do before. And to see Robert Eggers do action, man, we talking about a Viking full leading in, man, to the Viking lore, to Norse mythology. But we're talking about a Viking revenge movie. There's a certain kind of tone, there's a certain kind of vibe you need to that kind of action, and goodness gracious, did Robert Eggers capture it so freaking well, man.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys? I had to cut in. I'm editing my video right now, and I'm like, oh, I totally forgot to mention something when it comes to Robert Eggers' filmmaking that I loved in this movie. His tracking shots, he's got several of them. And several of them are part of bigger sequences that are all one cut. You want to make your action pop, especially when it's like bop, 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 bop. Like there's beats to it and gaps in between it. You want to make that stuff pop. A one-shot tracking shot. He's got like 3 or 4 of them in the movie that are just absolutely spectacular. So I'm going to go back to enjoying my Baja Blast. You go back to enjoying whatever the guy from the past was saying. Take it away!
Like, this movie, it just, like, from a visual, from a storytelling, I tell you, this is a movie, right, where I came in expecting a lot of action, and I get a lot of action. I was expecting a lot of brooding. I get a lot of brooding. But there are moments in this movie, and you got to give Robert Eggers credit for being able to, again, just provide his actors with moments where they can thrive, and you got to give so much credit to Alexander Skarsgård. I said it before, I'll say it again. The dude is so underrated, and I hope this is something that puts him on the map as far as movies go. You can see where that Tarzan came into play here. There's a lot of animalistic rage and body language from Alexander Skarsgård in this movie, and that Tarzan role, you tell where it held him. But he is a different kind of animal in this one, like literally, like he is hulking, he is brooding, just the way he carries himself. Like, he might have been the same size as he was in Tarzan. I think he's a little bit bigger, at least in the chest abdomen area. But like, I mean, just, he makes himself look big. And you see, I mean, he does a lot of his own stunt work and choreography here. And there are just moments, man, where, like, this is a person who sculpted their body to be on display. And, I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but when we get to the finale, you are really looking at just the human form. And, my man, like, everything is just like... He's a big dude, man, and he came to play. Like, the physicality and the physical nature of the role and the action and the choreography are all unbelievable. But the thing that makes me go, man, this is a guy who can bring it, is what he does when he's not doing those things, not the things that you expect. And he brings emotion to this role. He brings layers to this character and to this character's story. And Eggers provides twists that really take him to some really interesting places, especially when you're looking at the mission that this guy's been on the whole movie. And Skarsgård, for me, is just pitch perfect start to finish. And it's, again, a combination for me of things that I've seen this guy do throughout his career, where it's all on display here. And you're just like, yes, man, like, this is what I want. And the whole cast here is just phenomenal. I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy got her start with Robert Eggers in The Witch. Ironically, she's a bit of a witch in this movie. Bit of a full circle moment for Anya Taylor-Joy. Not the same witch. This witch takes place long before, so maybe there's just kindred spirits between those roles. But she's phenomenal. I mean, I say it all the time. She's one of my top 5 in all of Hollywood right now. Everything that she does is absolutely phenomenal. I loved her chemistry with Skarsgård on screen. There's just something about their chemistry that feels a little bit different than other things that you've seen, and how she's able to match his animalistic instincts and rage with this very tethered to the earth kind of philosophy that she has. They just balance each other really, really well, and she matches him beat for beat in a completely different kind of way, but in a way that's just as impressive. And then when you look at everybody else that's in here, I mean, Clay Spain does a phenomenal job. He plays the uncle. There's not a ton for him, but when he pops up, man, like, you get... it's one of these movies, too, where, like, story-wise, you can really understand a lot of the different perspectives, and I really liked what Bain brought as far as being the ultimate goal, right? Like, the guy that Skarsgård is going after. I thought he was great. Nicole Kidman, you know, not a ton to do early in this movie, but they give her some serious work on the back end, and I really liked what they ended up doing with her character. It went to places where I was like, all right, I wasn't quite ready for all these things. There were some nice twists and turns in here. Eggers has some wonderful twists, things that you don't see coming, and everything that you get out of Kidman in this, I was just like, you know, homegirl came to play, man. And, you know, obviously we got Willem Dafoe back from The Lighthouse, the smallest role out of the main cast, but he gets 2 moments, and one where he's physically acting, one where it's just that iconic voice just doing what it does, and he's fantastic. I mean, they don't ask a ton of him, but it fits perfectly, and I really dug the Norse mythology here, leaning into the Viking culture. I don't know how much research Eggers did and how much stuff is like 100% accurate, but like, you were getting vibes, like you were seeing rituals and things that date back to the early ADs, or BCs maybe. It was BC? It's either early AD or early BC. I think it was early AD. It was like 857 AD, I want to say, something like that. But, like, just totally captures moments and bits of the mythology and bits of the culture where I was just intrigued. I was like, I hope he did some homework, man, and there's some, like, real stuff in here, because I'm really digging all of the cultural elements that you're getting throughout the movie. Whether it's, you know, the early on, there's some ritual and, like, kind of like ceremonial flair early in the movie. I like how that kind of tied into where Skarsgård comes from in this group of Vikings, and Viking type people, Norse people, I guess. I don't know. They're not your traditional Vikings. But like, I dug all that stuff, and like I said, when you add in just what Eggers brings behind the camera and with the script, this is a movie that is a brutal revenge flick, and that can be really straightforward, you know, very much like Skarsgård's performance. It can be very straightforward, but Eggers, Skarsgård, they add layers to these guys, and I keep saying these 2 guys' names together because I know Alexander Skarsgård is one of the main producers with Robert Eggers on this, and that's really cool. Like, to see, I love seeing actors that you like start doing stuff, you know, and being more involved in the creative end. and I hope it's something that hits for him. So I really dug this movie. If I got any critique, it's a little long, but if you know Robert Eggers, it's a guy that's going to take his time to tell the story, and I thought the balance of storytelling and action really worked quite well. But I can see some people being like, this is a long movie. It's just over 2 hours, but it's got a slower pace, but it's a methodical pace, and I thought it was one that worked. So let's get the old C-Maniacs up on the screen. There they are. Like I said, Eggers crushes this thing. Atmospherically, it's gorgeous. Technically, it's just mesmerizing. From Norse mythology to the sequences that he's crafting, to using on location and visual effects, both CGI and practical. I mean, this thing just pops and looks gorgeous, and I haven't seen Eggers do a movie like this yet, but it's a movie that feels like it comes from him, man, and it just elevates what he's done in the past and just shows that he's a guy who's getting better each time out. Alexander Skarsgård, I hope this is the one that puts him, like I said, on the big screen map. You know, people look at him as a movie star, not a TV star. He's phenomenal, man. He brings that brooding and brute strength and just animalistic ferocity, but has these really tender moments, and a lot of those tender moments play off of the female leads in this movie. Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicole Kidman are fantastic. Clay Spain, like I said, acts as a really good counterpart. Completely forgot to mention Ethan Hawke, who is at the beginning of this movie. He plays the dad that gets killed. That's what the revenge is about. He's great, and I like where the story takes him, and just everything in this movie was working for me. So it's a little long. Score, another thing I didn't mention, phenomenal. This movie legit has a drum heartbeat, man. Like, you just pay attention to the drum, and it's going to tell you where you're going to go. And it's a movie that builds to an epic conclusion, and a revenge flick like this deserved the epic conclusion that it got. I was so satisfied. I was so fulfilled. 4.5 out of 5 C-Maniacs for the C-Man. This movie was rock solid. I love what Eggers is doing. I can't wait to see what he's got up his sleeve next. And I can't wait to see what Alexander Skarsgård has coming next. Like, this is a guy that I think could be really, really big if people put him in the right spots. And Robert Eggers certainly put him in the right spot here. Yeah, if you're in the mood for a revenge flick, you want a little brutal violence, this movie's bloody, but it's not gory. I would say, no, there are times that it's gory. It's a decent mix, but if you're in that kind of mood, I'm telling you, the Northman will scratch all the itches you got going on in your revenge life. That's it for the C-Man, fresh out the theater. Now I want to know what you're thinking. Is this on your to-do list? Are you looking forward to this? Are you a Robert Eggers fan? Are you an Alexander Skarsgård fan? Are you an Anya Taylor-Joy fan? Or maybe you're just a Nicole Kidman fan. I don't know, man. But what's making you go see The Northman? You seen it tonight? You seen it this weekend? Have you seen it already? What are you thinking? Did you like it? Did you dig it? Are you excited for it? Are you looking forward to it? Have I gotten you excited? Anything you got, man. Good, bad, indifferent. On The Northman, down below in the comment section. Look forward to talking to you guys down there. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're new, you want to come hang with the C-Man anytime. We're talking movies, TV, trailer, reactions. You want to be here when I'm outside the theater. You want to be here when I'm talking about The Batman, which is on HBO Max. We're going to have some new content coming, I promise. It might take a little while, but it'll get there. You just want to be here anytime talking about the things that I love to talk about. You just dig the energy. You want to show a little love and support. Well, hey, come join C-Maniac Nation. All you got to do is jump over there, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell if you want those alerts. And until next time, for the C-Man's Cinema, sit down. I've been the C-Man, fresh out the theater. I'm signing off. Peace.
Oh, hey, what's going on? You must be sticking around because you're looking for more content featuring this guy. Well, guess what? You're in the right place. You can check out more videos right here and right here. And if you have and you want to come join that C-Maniac Nation, you can hit that subscribe right over there.